So guys, I was just in a text chat with a friend of mine, and I wanted to bring this up because there's a lot of, I see so many of these videos on TV, the public freakouts about, I'm not showing you my receipt. And so there won't be any intro on this, it's just gonna be something quick. So I have a friend, I just got done talking to him, if I could text him with him. He got, he lives here in San Diego, and he just got trespassed from a large department store. Let's go there. I'm not going to throw any names out there. So he got permanently banned from this establishment, and the whole reason was, you know how when you leave the store they ask for your receipt. They want to see your receipt. They want to check it. And he's one of these guys that like, I don't have to show you my receipt. You're not law enforcement. You can't detain me. Am I being detained? He's one of those guys. He's on the verge of being a sovereign citizen. And so I've already done research on this. I was curious about it. I was like, do I have to show my receipt when I leave places like Walmart or Rutherby's or Costco and places like this? And it would, in theory, fall under the Fourth Amendment, you know, to protect from unlawful search and seizure. But the fact is, Fourth Amendment and that unlawful search and seizure, those apply to civil servants, law enforcement, you know, employees that are for that. That does not apply. That's in public. But what people forget is when you're in a place like Walmart or Target or Costco or places like that is not a public establishment. That's why you can't protest inside a store or a restaurant and things like that. There is something that's called shopkeepers discretion. There's different names for it, but it's shopkeepers have the right to detain you to prevent theft and loss, and to establish if there is probable cause, they can detain you for a reasonable amount of time. And if it turns out that they determine that they think that you stole something and then you are arrested and it in fact is not true, then they're legally responsible for the damages to you. But a shopkeeper or store or a business can set a policy in which you must show your ID, or not your ID, but your receipt before you leave. And this probable cause for them to detain you, a lot of times, winds up coming from the customer themselves. It's called a accusational paradox, would be what I read, and I'd looked at this months ago. So some of this stuff is stuff that's just in my head. I didn't refresh. Accusational paradox. Hang on a second, I gotta go close this door because I don't want to disturb the rest of the family. So I was saying is, a lot of times through this accusational paradox that arises in this encounter, you, the person that is trying not to show your receipt, provides the storekeeper, the shopkeeper, with the probable cause they need. I'm not gonna show you my receipt. Well, now I'm thinking, I got probable cause. You won't show me the receipt because now I think you stole something. So am I saying that you're wrong for like, this is my rights? No, it's good to stand up for your rights. But the fact is that in the lieu of intelligence, thinking that my Fourth Amendment protects me everywhere. No, it doesn't. Your Fourth Amendment does not protect you inside a private establishment. If somebody thinks that you stole something and they are an employee of the store, owner of the store, you are on private property and they are legally allowed to detain you for a reasonable amount of time to establish whether there was a crime committed or not, and then to contact law enforcement. So you're basically, by arguing with them about showing the receipt, you're providing them with what they need to detain you and keep you there. It's like, oh, you can't detain me. Yes, you can. That's no different than if somebody walked into my house and I held him at gunpoint. It's like citizen's arrest. Hey, I can detain that person as an employee of that store for a reasonable amount of time. That's up to debate. This storekeeper's prerogative or imperative or whatever, I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a law, and it's interpreted different in different states. But the fact is, they do have that right. I've said it before, like everybody, these protests and stuff, like, oh, these people are protesting here and they're screaming and hollering and they're going into restaurants and they're in they're in libraries and in stores. And I'm like, they should be arrested. You do not have the right to protest on private property. Public protest, it's fine. Same thing here. If you were out in the park, the police, if they wanted to detain you and question you and ask for your identification, they would have to have a reasonable idea that a crime had been committed. They would have to be able to show probable cause. When you argue with a storekeeper or a shopkeeper or the guy at the door at Walmart or Target or any of those places, Costco, if you argue with them and you tell them you're not showing them your receipt, you've just provided them with probable cause. It's a self-fulfilling thing. So am I saying that just cower down and they're like, oh, it's an erosion of my rights? No, it's not. You don't have a right to privacy on private property with things like that. If you're buying stuff in a shop, until you leave that store, until you're off that property, you are subject to the rules of that establishment as private property. And so what I'm saying is, don't be that jackass that winds up on YouTube who's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. You don't have the right to ask for my receipt. Yes, I do. Storekeeper, shopkeeper. Yes, I have that right to prevent theft and loss from my establishment. I absolutely have that right. Rights that everybody seems to think that they have. You don't have them on private property. Once you're on private property, a lot of that stuff goes away. Well, that's my Fourth Amendment right. You're not in public. You're not being talked to by a law enforcement officer. That Fourth Amendment applies to government and civil employees like law enforcement, the federal government, the military. That's where your Fourth Amendment right comes in, but not at a store that you just bought something. And here's the thing. If you know you paid for all your items, show them the fucking receipt. How hard is that? It's not hard. It's simple. It's simple. There are times that people get up in arms, even myself, about the wrongs that we perceived or things like that we perceived and that we think we know the law. But the fact is, I show my receipt when I go out, but I asked the question myself. I was like, do I have to show my receipt? And I was like, you don't have to show your receipt. I got news for you. Yeah, you do. Well, you don't, unless you want to spend 45 minutes there while you're waiting on the police to show up, for the police to come in and say, yeah, you bought all these items. You're free to go. There's no reasonable thought that you stole that stuff. If you're that bored that you got like 45 minutes to wait around for the police to come and then tell you to leave, but in that 45 minutes, they've already determined that you're never going to be able to go back to that Walmart or that Target or Costco. Wouldn't that suck? Like, say that the grocery store right next door to your house, you do this, and now you can't go and you got to drive like an extra 30 minutes just because you did not make yourself smart on the subject. So yes, that's why you see me at Costco, Walmart, Target, any of the big box stores, any of them. Back in the day, I was going to say Hills, but most of you guys aren't know what Hills is. Those are absolutely their right to prevent loss. And as a customer of all things, you as a customer should be happy they're doing it. You know why? Because when somebody does walk out with a high value item that they didn't pay for because they slid it under and they refuse to show receipt and they get let go because we can't. You as the next consumer that goes to that store pays for that loss. Prices go up. You're paying for that shoplifter's item. So don't be so stone-headed. Don't do that, guys. I have a friend that he's like, oh, they couldn't do this, and now I've been trespassed, and I'm never allowed back to this store. And I was like, you know you were wrong, right? No, Fourth Amendment. And I had to go through it for him. Fourth Amendment, public, not private property. Fourth Amendment, law enforcement and civil employees, not shopkeepers. Shopkeepers absolutely have that right. So just one of those little things. I had it in my head. I thought, you know what, screw it. I'll just do a video. So, all right, guys. I said it was going to be a one shot, but I had to do a cut. I had to close that door because I am loud. I know I'm loud. So, all right, guys. Take it easy. I'll talk to you later.